called Engraving.
That's exciting. What is it?
Well, it's full of famous engravers, knives, guns, all this awesome stuff. They even shoot a Civil War cannon.
No way.
Yes way.
Fire! Kathy, you're next.
That goes really fast.
Yeah, I'll take it down here.
Come on,
Perfect. All right, send that. There you go. Thanks so much, man. It's good seeing you. Thanks. I'll probably sneak out of there.
Chuck?
How did I screw it up? Huh?
Kathy, you want to do this? My pants are getting dirty.
Just pull the string.
Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
Kick that block back against the wheel on that just side. There you go. With Scotco.
He's over there with the red earmuffs on.
Ready to fire? Fire!
So Crossman bought the rights from me to produce this, and this is serial number 1 of the Crossman version. And just this past week, well, about 2 weeks ago now, Crossman sent this neat little plaque where our patent was approved for the air gun upper. So I have a patent in my name now.
Those of us who don't know who you are, could you introduce yourself?
Oh, you're going to ask me this question? Can we start this over again? I don't know who I am.
Yes, you do. You're Scott Pilkington with an engraving, awesome engraving. Is this a convention?
It's a gathering of engravers to get together and talk shop and just hang out. We see each other at shows around the country, but we're dealing with customers and we don't have time to just really relax and enjoy each other, and that's what this is about. We give seminars and just share things with each other.
Well, how did you get started in this?
My parents bought me a set of tools when I was a senior in high school, and I started engraving, and it became the way I made my living.
I seen you signing your autograph in a book. What was that about?
Well, I've been in several books over the years, and most recently Roger Bliley, who was here at the Engrave In, published a book, American Engravers of the 21st Century, and I have a section in there, and it covers even the Engrave In. They're lucky today. There's so much information on the internet. There's the Engravers Cafe and Hand Engravers Forum, and we stay in contact with each other throughout the year through the forums, and that's a great way to get started.
What in the hell are you doing? It's all candles.
Process. Let's forget about these cut through the blue things. I just do those for samples. But how I came to write the first book I did, American Engravers, in 1980. I actually wrote it, started in 1978, but back then you never met another engraver. You never had anything like this. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have any books on anything. And so I was just trying to make connections with other engravers. And when that book was first brought to the public by Binefield Publishing, Wally Binefield, as most of you know, has one of the most prestigious gun shows in the world in Las Vegas every year. So I worked it out with him to have a meeting to form the Firearms Engravers Guild of America in 1980. And I got together all the engravers I could, and we all met there in Vegas, and we all threw $20 bills in Tommy J. Kay's hat, and that's how we started the guild back then. And it's carried on for all these years with people like Tim helping to keep it going. But I consider that my best contribution to the world of engraving, because I got these people going and got this together, and then all the other guys did all the work, really. I just want to invite you to look at the engraving on my tailgate here. I did a lot of it, but it's also, I like to bring stuff that other people engraved. I've got some nice German engraving here. I'm a member of the German Gun Collectors Association, so my passion is kind of for collecting German shotguns and drillings. I also have copies of American Engravers here for sale, and I also have a few copies of the Pedretti and Fracassi books that I also have for sale if you're interested in that. But I'm glad you could all make it here. There's a lot of old friends here, but I always like to see all these new faces, and especially people that have immigrated here from other countries. I always find it fascinating talking to people from other places and learning what I can from them. Thanks a lot, folks.
You're next, Keith. I'm next. You're next.
I'm Keith Patterson. I'm from New Jersey. My job is I fix the Verrazano Bridge. I'm a bridge maintainer in the city of New York. And I carve hobo nickels and engrave whatever else I can do. That's about it. So.
Hi, my name's Archie Taylor, and some of these hobo nickel guys that are here have seen what we do and so forth. I travel all over. I give kids coins. I get them started in engraving and start them collecting coins. And I also spread the word of the hobo. And Hobo always shared what he had. And one thing I noticed, everyone here, you all share what you have. You're following a tradition that's been around for 100+ years of people sharing information, food, hospitality. I haven't tried any shine yet, and I live in Florida, and I've been told that there's no shine in Florida. So if anybody's got a jar that I can take back with me, I just want my wife to know, she's from Alabama, that there is shine in Tennessee, okay? I mean, that's just part of the thing. But I also have Steve Lindsay's setup of palm control and classic over there, and I have free coins for everybody. I have free elongated cents and elongated buffalo nickels. And if anybody has any questions at all about the tooling or anything that we have, I do have templates that we have over there. I have sets of templates and stones and so forth for anybody that might have a student that needs them. So come see me, come talk. And I did find a new hobo carving tool. Okay, a railroad spike can be used to make knives, as we all know, but also the spike can be sharpened and made into a chisel. It's also called a knee catcher. The hobo would put it in the door of the rail car before where he kept his legs out, and when the train stopped, it would keep his legs from getting cut off. More hobos lost their legs by not having one of these. And the old hobos used to carry them right on their lanyard, and when they'd get in, they'd put that in first thing. So I'm sitting down here going, how else can you take and find a piece of steel, also known as a railway spike, and have such multiple uses for it? Only a hobo could. Let's go back to the story of the hobo and then go from there. Way back when, I'm reading a book now that 1907 and 1908, the hobos were riding the rails. And a hobo is a person that usually would work for a living, didn't want to live at home either through a bad relationship with his parents or whatever. His mode of transportation was the train. The book I'm reading by Clive Cussler talks about the hobos riding to the end of the rail to make the next rail, to go through to the next section of rail that they were. And as you know, a hobo jungle is where they used to drop off the trains and they'd all run to. And they'd make a mulligan stew. So there was always food because they shared whatever they had. And the lesson I bring to kids and people at the coin shows is that a hobo always shared what he had. And if you think about it, if there were 4 people in a room, he'd take an apple and cut it into 4 pieces. Everybody would be equal. So the Hobo Nickel Society wants you to know that the hobos were people that worked, then they shared. But they also were given a nickel when they left the household in the morning. And I lived in Exeter, New Hampshire, where my grandparents were, and the train track rode by. And we had this big 50 by 100 foot barn. And in the barn was a room where the kids were not allowed to go into. Well, all my life, we always looked in to see what was inside. And then I never knew what it was until later on in life, when after my grandparents had sold the barn and my mom and dad would talk about the hobo room. Once we started into hobos, my mother goes, oh yeah, the hobos used to always come to the back door and ask for work. And they'd sleep in that room in the barn. And I go, that's what that was? And then my dad would go, of course that's what it was. That's the guy that was down raking Grandma's dried garden? Yes, that's... Why didn't you tell us? Well, the reason why we didn't tell you is because he worked at night with Grandpa, and Grandpa had bottles all through the barn. No, there's a reason why Grandpa didn't come home in the morning. He would sleep out in the barn with the hobo. They had too much to drink. But the hobo would leave in the morning, and the nickel was the coin that Grandma had in the sugar box. Pull the nickel out, give it to the hobo with a sandwich and a whatever fruit was in session. And if it was cold, these guys found out that they could carve these things. They would take a nickel and a nail, a nickel and a jackknife. They would take anything they could find to whittle the metal away. And over the years, we don't know the actual count of how many hobo nickels there are. But that buffalo nickel has been made into probably more different things you possibly can imagine. And we found last year, we found the cream of the crop. We found the best one that there ever was. It was a $22,000 hobo nickel. We sold it at our auction in January. And to be honest with you, after talking with many, many collectors of coins, there are people that have 400 and 500 hobo nickels in the safe, and they'll never bring them out. Those are the ones that you want to try to find. The reason why the Hobo Nickel Society is here is to take that nickel that the hobo carved when he was riding that train and gave it to the conductor, gave it to the engineer because he'd let him ride where it was warm. He's not out in the cold on the rails and cold like that. So they gave it to him, put it away in the jewelry box. Now this is Grandma, great-grandma, now Mother. What's this in the jewelry box? These old nickels are being pulled out. And we can grade them for you. And you can, if you want to sell them, that's fine. If not, you can have them graded and find out what you have. That's what the Hobo Nickel Society does. We take and grade the coin so that if you can look at it and go, superior grade. We have a grading system. Looks old. The other solution to that is that if you're 85 years old, you got this nickel when you were 22, which puts it back in, back in the 30s. It's an original hobo nickel. And we can take the provenance of finding 2 other carvers or 2 other coins of that same one of yours, name it, and now you have a bona fide, registered, graded original hobo nickel. If you want to sell it, you put it in the auction. This represents $75,000 worth of hobo nickels that were sold in January by anybody that wanted to put them in front of the group of the Hobo Nickel Society. And anyone that wishes to spend $15 can get this in the mail every year. All right. So, a hobo nickel, what is it? Any buffalo nickel in any grade, carved with anything on it that you want, put in front of any person that likes what you carved, they'll pay your price. You can take a 7-cent nickel and turn it into $20 in 5 minutes. You can take a $2 nickel and turn it into $100 in an hour. And you can take a $10 buffalo nickel and turn it into $1,000 in 10 hours. You can make some good money. Hobo nickels are here to stay. The Hobo Nickel Society's been here 22 years. We go to the shows. We get the kids involved with collecting. We get you guys involved with, here's a place to sell some of your stuff, guys. Okay? Where's Getty? Getty, where are you? Getty's over here. Alexi and Alex. These 2 guys went to the show and sold their coins. Their name got out, and now people are going to them for commission work. All of you that know what commission work and understand what it is to get things have to be done at a certain time, I I don't think there's any hobo nickel person that said, I need it right away. Okay? An example I'm going to give you how easy it is, and I had a customer come to me and says, I want a rabbi with a yarmulke and a beard. That's all he wanted. He didn't care about the year, didn't care about the coin, didn't care about anything. So I'm looking at it and said, give me your card. It's going to be $100, and then give me 30 days to get it. That's pretty good. Okay? Okay. Well, I handed it to a hobo nickel carver that was sitting at the table, and about 15 minutes later, he hands me back the exact coin that the guy wants. I called him. Joe, come get your coin. I did wait an extra 15 minutes because I thought you're calling him in 15 minutes when I said 30 days. I gave it 30 minutes. He comes back, looks at the coin. That's exactly what I wanted. That's it. How much do I owe you? $100. It happens a lot at coin shows where somebody will want something. You name the price, they will pay it. Okay? What does it mean for you? All of you guys that are into engraving, where it's a chore, you get tired of it. Oh God, another gun to do. Or I've been at this thing for 3 weeks. Okay? All you gotta do is pick up a nickel, put a design on it, carve it. It's so small, so fun. When you put it down, you go, God, that was fun. And you market it. If you have 20 of them, you bring it to the fun show in Orlando in January, you'll sell all 20 for whatever price you want to put on them. There's somebody there that will buy it. There's dealers that will buy 20 at a time. If you can take 10 minutes and do 20 coins in an hour, they'll give you $200-300 for those coins. And you go, thank you very much, let's go. All right. Buffalo nickels are very easy to find. Any coin shop has them. You do not have to pay a lot of money for them. If you want to make an expensive coin, you want to do a nice uncirculated coin with a full horn and a full tail on it. You want a nice shiny coin, because that's going to get your best dollar. And there are many people that collect the Buffalo nickel book. They want every year of that Buffalo nickel book with a carved hobo nickel on it. So if you're back in 1918, you got a beautiful coin, and it happens to be a $100 coin to start, and you look at it and go, what am I going to do? And you carve a $500 coin on it, the guy will pay you $500 for it, because it fills the hole in his book. You can also take, and if you're good, you can change an 8 into a 32. They didn't make a hobo nickel in 1932. I got one. Right here. You look at it and go, oh, what a great nickel. Wait a minute. They didn't make a nickel in 1932. That is not defacing United States currency for profit. Because when you do something like that, you change an 8 into a 2, you always take the hoof off of the buffalo on the back. Okay? You always make it so the coin is not a legitimate coin. And you go, can you make me a 37D three-legged? Heck, I can't. And I won't. I'll make you a 7/8 leg. 7/8? Yeah. Cut the hoof off. You got 1, 2, 3, and 7/8. You're not making a 37D, which is worth, what, $75,000? You're making something that's fun. It's a funny thing. And it'll never pass as anything else other than a fun piece. Hobo nickels should be fun. It should not take and be a business. It should be something that you can take and relax with. The society is here to help you. I think that's something for you to realize. Every one of you over there, I have enough books, I think, for everyone to get one of these bow tails. This book is put out 4 times a year by the Hobo Nickel Society. It also has our auction catalog in it. It also has an application for joining, $15 a year. It gets you 4 of these books, and it gets you into the auction. It allows you to put coins into the auction to sell, and it allows you to come to the Hobo Nickel Society general meeting and business meeting board of directors meeting, and find out where we're going in the future. We will have an encyclopedia of hobo nickels. We have it already on DVD. We are now looking for a publisher or an editor to edit it. So we will have a complete history since 1991 of every piece of paper that's ever been provided by the original Hobo Nickel Society. For those of you that are paper people, I want the big thick one. Okay? I want the one on paper. We're going to print out probably 100 of them on paper. So that if you have any information that you need, what happened in 1992 with this nickel, there'll be a picture of it, what it was, and if it's found today, you have a history of what it's all about. So, we're moving ahead. We're active at coin shows. If anybody is in from Alabama to Florida, and I'll use Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, those three states. If you have a coin show or a coin club meeting or something that you would like a presentation made, where you would like our setup there, or if you're going to have a table, you are already there at a show, and you would like some giveaways and things, just let me know. I'm in this book. I'm on the top page. Archie Raleigh Taylor, President. My address and telephone number is on it. Just give me a call. I'll send you stuff to give away to kids. Doesn't cost you a dime. Learn the story. I just told you the story. It's easy to remember. Share, work, and brotherhood. Okay? The hobos always stuck together. They would back each other up. If you take and put that information in front of you and think about it, it's pretty easy to remember and it makes it fun. All right? Dave Raymond's a hobo. He carves hobo nickels and travels throughout the United States. It gets him where he wants to go. Where he stops, he takes out his ball, he starts cutting. Biker bar, wasn't it? Biker bar, yeah. Biker bar. Made money. Went in to have a beer and left with money in his pocket. Okay? Camps in his car. For the month of October and November, during a month-long period of time, Dave and I are going to take our vans and we're going to try to do shows. And we're going to go set up the Lindsay tools, set up the hand tools, put them in kids' hands, and let them go. If any of you have a coin show that I should know about, that we can put into our little repertoire of traveling, just let me know. I'll see if I can fit it into the schedule. Maybe. But hobo nickels are here for you. You can have fun with them. You can really enjoy it. You've been in it with Getty just left. Getty's been in it less than a year. How long you been doing hobo nickels out, Alex? Lexi?
About 1.5 years.
1.5 years. Alex? About the same? About the same? David? How long you been doing them?
3 months.
3 months, right? Making money, aren't you?
Never get across the country and back.
Yeah. All right. Made a trip across country and back carving hobo nickels. Okay? Right? He was here and he sold $100 worth on eBay. What did it cost you for the nickels? So, lifestyles, hey, everybody that's got a beard here, you fit in. Okay? Anybody that wants to borrow my yellow shirt, 13 years I've been wearing this shirt at Hobos. When I don't wear it on a Friday, they all go, "Where's your shirt?" I said, "Do you want it stinking after 3 days, or you want to give me a chance to wash it?" The tape's been on it for 9 years. Got a piece of tape right here. Okay. If you have a beard, it fits. I can't wear a beard, but I got the hat. Of course, it's falling apart. I mean, you look at it, hasn't been across country, but it's been around. I ask you to take and have fun with it. If you ever need nickels, ask me. I'll send you 5 of them. Yes, sir.
You want to mention the movie?
Excuse me?
You want to mention the movie?
Oh, I did. I said nickel and a nail. Okay. Coming out this summer, we had a traveler, a hobo nickel carver from Colorado Springs, Colorado. His name's Adam Leach, and Adam's a little off the wall, just a little. But he took and left January 1st, left January 1st, Colorado Springs, Colorado, carving hobo nickels to trade for rides from Colorado Springs. 7 days later, had to be in Orlando, Florida. Goes into the truck stop, sits down, takes out his stick, and he starts carving. Got a sign, Hobo Nickels for sale. It's called A Nickel in a Nail. A Nickel in a Nail. The documentary is finished. It will be like a PBS documentary. It also will be at the Fun Show. We will have a showing there. It will also be on YouTube. Part of it is already on YouTube. And it's about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. But it's the travels of a man who hoboed with absolutely no money in his pocket. He traded rides in 18-wheelers. There was one in the back of a Mexican bus full of guys that were supposed to turn left, and they turned right and dropped him off in the middle of a field somewhere. He made it. I picked him up in Orlando and spent the next 3 days at my house. And I'll tell you, this guy had a photographer with him the whole time. It's all on film. It's all in sound. You hear the truck ride. You hear him talking. He made friends on this trip. This was 3 years ago that still call him when they're 100 miles of Colorado Springs. Hey, Adam, what are you doing? Can I come over? Okay? And get together. You got any more hobos? So, there's a lot of things that Hobo Nickels have done for everyone.
What's the title again?
A Nickel in a Nail. I just got a book by Clive Cussler 2 days ago. Second paragraph. We hired the detective agency to go into the hobo jungles to find out who this guy was. Okay? And I mean, wow! You know, hobos are everywhere. I have an original hobo carving tool. Here we go. Here it is. This is a regular house knife that was cut by Waybon Eddings. And Waybon Eddings was a hobo nickel carver, and he let the hobos stay at his house in Gadsden, Alabama. He worked on the railway for 35 years. He carved hobo nickels. So what he would do is he'd have the hobo come to his house and show him how to carve. Well, the hobo said, take a knife, take a nail, take anything that's got a sharp edge on it, and he'd take and he'd carve. And what you're going to do with this one, just to show how it is, take your hand, put it up, hold the ball, and all you do is you scrape the metal, okay? You scrape it. So put some pressure on it, and just scrape, 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 scrape. Keep going. Go scrape, scrape, scrape. And you're going to see that you got metal moving. See those white lines?
Yeah.
Every white line on that coin, you're moving the metal. You guys have a safe one. All right? So that's what they would do, and that's the type of tool that they would use. And it would take a long time. It's not going to be easy to clean that coin out to get it started, is it? Okay. Modern day hobo has a new tool called the Lindsay air tool to use. And the hobo nickel carvers today use this tool. It's air powered. It's a hammer. There's a piston going in and out, and it allows you to take and work easier. The Hobo Nickel Society puts these in kids' hands to allow them to learn the art of carving. Okay? So you're lucky today that you're going to get a chance to try to carve. In your hand, thumb underneath, finger on the graver. Just like so. So you feel you've got a little bit of control on this, okay? Let's put our hand in the safe spot. Now, to start the tool, there's a little point way down here. Mm-hmm. That point is what starts to carve. So you got to get it into the metal and then lower it down and look at the line you started. Okay? See the line?
Yeah.
Okay? So, down, lower it down. Get it started, lower it down. Lower the angle to the coin. Lightly put it on. Do it again.
That is cool.
There you go. Keep going. Okay.
That is awesome.
All right. So, In order to take and do a nickel, you would draw on the coin. And here we're gonna draw a basic nickel. Okay? Had a bowler hat, they had a beard or had a collar. Sometimes they had beards coming down and they'd have an ear. So today we would take and carve the outline of the coin, and then in order to start carving, you want to carve the lines that you just drew. Hold the ball with your hand around it, because all you're going to do on this one is you're going to draw the ball towards you. Down angle. There you go. Straight. Good job. Now recut it. Good. Take your time. Your finger's not on the end. You lost your downward control. There you go. Perfect. You got it. Down a little. Don't go side to side. Go up and down. Down a little. Good. There it goes. See, when you change your angle, you're actually changing the way the tip enters.
You want this to blow out and not this to be a container to blow up. Okay. And the ones that we know of recently in the past 20 years that have blown up, the plug goes, the person might get a little burn, but they're not hurt. Stay away from the copper ones that have been crimped together like the old flasks. Right. They've been soldered. Now you have a canister that can blow up. Basically pipe. Exactly. That's what I tell people with a flintlock. If you want to follow the rules, remember you have a pipe bomb next to your face. And that scares the living bejesus out of you. But
wheels on the highway don't stop rolling. Wheels of time won't let me be. Wheels in my mind, they are no different. Everything is telling me to leave. And I'm tired of being sorry for the things I didn't do. Tired of being sorry for your mistakes. And I'm tired of being sorry for telling you the truth. And I'm sorry I don't know what it takes. I tried to pull off of the highway. I've just been doing what I'm told. It don't really matter which way I turn. Bound to break the rules of your road. Staring at the stars from the middle of a highway. Enthusiasm can't last long, but don't dare stop to talk if you see you're going my way. I'll most most likely to do you wrong. Now the Lord knows how hard I've tried to help you. There's times I think I've made it worse. I won't stand in your way any longer. Tried all I can to stop the hurt, and I'm tired of being sorry for the things I didn't do, and I'm tired of being sorry for your mistakes, and I'm tired of being sorry for telling you the truth, and I'm sorry I don't have what it takes, and I'm sorry I don't have what it takes.
Not bad.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Wore the Graver Max out. I bought the Lindsay, and now hopefully I'll wear out the end set, you know, and try a little bit of everything. You know, it's like it's a tool world, so just try what you can. What works for you. If you don't have a lot of money, make it out of a tap and die. You know, figure out how to make a graver. The metal I use, you know, the GRS has these points. They're like little points they're points for like stippling. People make stippling points out of them. I take that and I grind it down to like a little screwdriver point. I have stuff with me in the car. I'll bring it down and I can show you afterwards. But you take that little screwdriver point and I just hit it with a hammer and I just raise the metal up and bend it. And then I take like the little burrs that you would use to set diamonds, like those little bush burrs or the little jeweler's burrs that you use on a flex shaft. When they get bad, or in my case they get rusty because they're in my basement in the garage, I grind the head off and I just hit it with a ball peen hammer, like on a 90 degree. I just hold it up, and after I grind the point off, I just tap it and I make a little punch, courtesy of Alexei Sabaroff art instruction. And I use that at a 90 degree, and I just stipple with my foot pedal, and I stipple the whole face out. Like I'll cut the lines for the face, like the little line over here, and cut around the nose, and then I just relieve that with a little tiny mini flat, and I just punch it all out, and then that's it.
eBay buying hobos. What are they looking for specifically?
It's all different stuff.
Something like different things.
It's just different people. Like somebody might be into butterflies. Somebody might be into ducks. You know, like I got a guy. I have chickens as pets, and one guy emailed me, "You have chickens, but you never did a chicken nickel." And I said, "I did do a chicken nickel," and I gave it away, but to a friend. But the thing is that they says, "Oh, you should do a chicken nickel." I want a chicken nickel. So now I have a commission to do a chicken on a nickel. You know, but people ask you for all sorts of strange stuff, you know, guys like on the crapper and, you know, just all crazy nut stuff.
Mr. The or whatever.
Yeah, Mr. The.
He is, he does a lot of really different kind of stuff.
Different stuff and different.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's
He does,
pretty good,
yeah, he's really good. He'll be here, he'll be in the United States in January.
For that show?
For that show, yeah. If you're into hobo nickels and you're into coins, you know, it's a great show to go to. And the club has a big booth, and I go there and I carve and I show people how I do it.
1,500 coin dealers at
Yeah,
the show.
it's really good. So if you want to buy coins for the kids, grandkids, investment, you know, whatever, you just want to get away for a week, you know, just a weekend, you know, come down. It's really
Do a lot of people,
fun.
can you take coins in there to sell?
Oh yeah, yeah. They buy them. If you got coins to get rid of, you can go down there and one dealer doesn't give you a price, you go to another dealer. So
It's in Orlando, right?
It's in Orlando. Yeah.
It's all different coins, though, right? Like,
Oh yeah, there's all coin dealers. They got like guys with shipwreck coins. They got people that just sell like banknotes, foreign money. People that sell like gold ingots and silver ingots and it's insane. Yeah, they have people that just sell like old memorabilia, like a junk show. You know, like what's this junk? And
Have you ever been robbed?
You know, I got robbed. You did? Yeah, I got robbed.
Yeah, we did, didn't we, Keith?
Yeah, we got robbed. We got robbed good. So I lost 3 years of my work for leaving it in the trunk, Raleigh.
Leave it in the trunk.
This is Florida. Don't worry about it. So I left it in the trunk. So and that was it. No, I lost a lot, but it was bad. But the good thing was, it put my name out in the public where people saw like my work and stuff, and they said, oh yeah, you know, like this is great, you know, like terrible that you lost it, but got any hobo nickels for sale, you know, and the years afterwards, I sold like a lot of stuff.
Stage another one then.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. So.
Some of the tools that engravers use, whether they're using guns, knives, nickels, jewelry, they're usually using optics, and scopes are a big deal for clarity and ease and non-fatigue. And so I have a new type of scope that I've been selling about 18 months, and it has a much increased depth of field and other things so that it makes our lives much easier. So I brought that for people to see. And I also have pneumatic systems, the NSET and NSET Plus system, and those are a different way to use pneumatics where you can control the speed and the pressure of the length of stroke, and people are trying that out as well here. And then I have other smaller tools, super stones and knives and other things that people in our trade would use up as they're going along in their normal day.
I like the plain shot. I've been doing it.
Oh yes, my website is engraver.com, engraver.com.
What kind of information can they find there?
They can find information on all of the tools that we sell, including many of them have videos from Leica and from other places, and we have all the technical information and specs, and information is always building on that site. We're making it bigger and bigger. So.
What advice would you give to someone just getting into engraving?
Find an engraver near you and go and talk to that person and try to get a relationship going with that person so they can oversee what you're doing, and start drawing, because there's 3 parts of engraving that are important. One is learning how to make tools, and if you're near somebody, they can tell you and help you with that. One is the physical sitting down for X number of hours to learn command of the tools once you can sharpen them. And the third thing is drawing. So even if you're having trouble figuring out the tools, buying the tools, sharpening the tools, or practicing, you can always draw with a pen and a pencil. And in the long run, that's going to be really, really helpful.
Some small pits here. I can use a jeweler's laser welder to fill those. Just use wire tie, mild steel wire tie, and a jeweler's laser. Fills it nice, and then you can stone it back down. The mild steel in these old antique guns matches wire tie steel perfectly. And you can't even tell.
Did some fantastic pouches and bags and stuff like that.
Shoot on for 3 days.
So tell me about yourself.
I'm Ron Landis. I'm from Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and I'm a hobo nickel carver, a die engraver, and a musician.
Don't be modest here.
Well, I've been doing it probably longer than anybody living. I was interested in coins. I was already a die engraver, and I went to the ANA summer seminar one year and saw Bill Fiva give a talk on hobo nickels. He was showing some from his collection of the old traditional ones, the old folk art ones done in the 30s and 40s, I guess. And I got interested in it, and I thought, boy, that looks like a lot of fun. I'm going to go home. I had all these ideas. I can carve a Jefferson nickel into an Indian. I had all these crazy ideas of how I could do something new with it, bring it into a new level of engraving. So it was kind of a sideline, a hobby, and I just started doing it for fun. And I had one collector that was buying everything I'd make. I was selling for like $80 a piece. So, it's quick because the market was at the time the market was $5 a coin. So that's what we were up against. People were used to paying $5 for a newly carved hobo nickel, and they'd trade on the secondary market for a little more than that. Some a little more, in the hundreds maybe, for a more famous bow carving or a Burt carving. Well, the market changed drastically. Once the club OHNS was started, they got a lot more interest in collectors. We learned more, started comparing our nickels and naming old carvers, and it's become a more of a collectible thing. Now some of these old traditional nickels are bringing tens of thousands of dollars, and my work is appreciated too. I'm probably the most expensive carver out there now. Maybe not the best, but carvers still, I think collectors still, if they're serious about collecting hobo nickels, they have to have a Ron Landis for the collection, and thankfully that's what, so one thing I'm really proud of. I've been credited with restarting the movement of hobo nickels, because for a long time I was the only one doing it, and I think that the prices, it's all market driven pretty much like everything. I think the prices people saw me getting for these nickels, it inspired a lot of people to get into the field. So there was some really talented engravers like Sam Alfano, Lee Griffiths, Steve Adams. Some of these guys, there's others that got into it and really raised the level of what a hobo nickel is. And now, of course, with Oleski doing it, and there's some of these other Russian guys that are just doing amazing work, creative stuff. And we have the whole range from kind of crude folk art to just really advanced engraving styles incorporated into coin carving nowadays. That it's really exploded. I think there's probably about 100 active carvers around the world now carving just foreign coins, not just nickels. Now it's foreign coins, dollar coins. There's been a new movement towards carving clad coins like cameos, carving down to the copper and adding multicolored inlays and so forth. It's really come a long way. Start with carving coins. It's just something that it doesn't need to be really refined, for one, so even a crude early attempt can be appealing on a certain level. And as long as you get enjoyment out of it, you find something, they're cheap, you don't need a whole lot of tools to get into it. So it's a good starting place, but I'd suggest taking at least maybe coming out here, getting some tips from a real engraver. Learn how to sharpen your tools, learn how to hold the tool. From there, it's all practice. Just doing it. You gotta love it. If you don't love it, do something else.
And what would you say about the Engrave In and why this is such a great event and people should come?
Oh, you have the whole range of engravers here, from beginning to advanced, but every discipline. We have coin carvers, gun engravers, knife engravers, jewelry engravers, scrim shanders, die engraver. I'm probably the only die engraver out here, I think, but there was one other guy. So you get exposed to all these different styles and disciplines, and so like I'm inspired. I'm going to leave here, and I'm going to finally get around to engraving my little Colt single action revolver I bought for myself. I think I'm going to go home and play around with it. Be the first weapon I've engraved in 20 or 30 years probably.
So it's even inspiring for you.
Oh, sure, yeah. I come out here to get energized because right now, to tell you the truth, I'm kind of in a funk. You know, I haven't done much engraving in the last year. I've been more concentrating on my music. I take my music pretty serious too. But I'm learning pedal steel guitar now, and that's really time consuming. But I'm getting good. I'm getting pretty good at it, and actually kind of want to move in that direction. I really love to play music, and I'm thinking about going down to Austin just to see what kind of scene it is down there for a steel guitar player. So yeah, I got a lot of interests, and but engraving is really what I'm probably best at.
My name is Alexei Saburov, and originally I'm from Russia, and most people know me as a Hobo nickel carver. So I'm carving the coins, knives, jewelry pieces like the engagement ring, the bands, the pendants, all those for the jewelry industry. So, and I've been carving over than 15 years. So, and I was graduated in Russia in the School of Metal Processing. So we did a lot of stuff there, sculpting, drawing, engraving, how to do jewelry from the sketch and how to process to the final product. So, and I really got patient and specialty for me it's the sculpting. I really like to sculpt and to bring the pieces to really 3D, the people can touch and feel and the real thing. So, and to bring for my coins, I'm trying to get the history. So it's like when it's in the picture for your memory, and the coin actually you can see the piece and you can feel it when you touch by your fingers, and it brings you back some memory. And the details is the favorite part of me during the engraving. So I try to, when I start working on the Hobo nickels, so sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to do, how it's going to look like. So many days come up in my mind during the engraving. So I'm starting from the shaping, and then so many things. Hold on a minute. How about if I put some small details right here? It helps to bring the piece more pop-ups, and I try to bring the people more information about the subject, what I'm gonna just to say about what I'm gonna make it, what I wanted to do on this piece. So the most expensive is like about the price. How
somebody paid you?
It was the 10,000
American dollars.
American dollars. Yeah.
How long did you work on it?
About a month and a half.
Oh goodness. What would you say about the engraving? Would you recommend people come to this engraving?
Definitely, definitely I can recommend for all beginners, even the advanced people. You just learn, you met the very talented people, and you see a lot of beautiful, incredible, the pieces. It just blows your mind. So I highly recommend it to everybody to join this group of people.
Good morning. I'm new to engraving. I'm a student from J.J. Roberts. I live in Frederick, Maryland. And my background is I'm a trained tool and die maker. I did a tool and die maker apprenticeship 3.5 years in Germany. I'm originally from West Germany, Cologne. And now I live here in America. Professionally, I'm involved in aviation. I teach people how to fly and repair aircraft, helicopters. Also an FAA Gold Seal flight instructor, and also have a little bit law enforcement background. I'm glad to be here with you. It's very inspiring, all these gifted people, and to learn from you. And thank you, all of you who bring this wonderful pieces here to see and admire. Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Ta, this engraving really was fun. You want to go out with a bang?
Sure.
Prepare to fire. Fire!
Woo! Goodness gracious!
Put the fire out with that one.
Hi, this is Kurt Horvath from Fayetteville, Tennessee, here at Scott Pilkington's 10th annual Engrave In on Moan Eagle. Having a great time. I'm a firearms engraver and specialize in mostly competition shotguns. And it's a great event. If you're an engraver, aspiring engraver, scrimshander, hobbyist, you need to come up here to Moan Eagle in June next year. Thanks, everybody.